Hi Amber, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Did you get the email that I sent you for today's lesson?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. Were you able to print out the attachments for today's lesson that we're going to use?
Yes.
Okay. So, if you'll go ahead and get those out in front of you.
Um,
Looking over them, obviously you saw today's lesson is going to be about the Bill of Rights. What can you tell me that you previously learned about the Bill of Rights?
that they are the first 10 amendments of the Constitution created by James Madison, and that's really about it.
Oh, good. You got the two main points about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a little background information about the Bill of Rights. So on March 4th in 1789, America officially adopted the United States Constitution. And this established the United States as a free nation governed by the people. The Constitution explains the country's legislative, executive, and judiciary branches and defines the roles of the following um, parts of the government. So Congress, Senate, House of Representatives, President, Vice President, and the Supreme Court. While the Constitution immediately proved to work better than the previous Articles of Confederation, it quickly became clear that changes would be necessary. Needing two-thirds of the votes from both houses of Congress, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, changes to the Constitution could be made in the form of amendments. So, from hearing that, what can you say an amendment is?
An amendment is a change.
A change to what?
The Constitution.
Okay, good. So, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution were passed in 1791, and collectively they're known as the Bill of Rights. The 10 amendments included in the Bill of Rights are the following rights and freedoms to all Americans. So, what we're going to do now is if you'll pull up the Bill of Rights worksheet, we're going to go over all 10 amendments. So let me know when you have that in front of you.
Okay, I've got it.
Okay, if you'll start by reading Amendment number 1 to me, please.
Amendment number 1 says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting free exercise therefore, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people, peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Good. So what Amendment 1 basically does is it gives all Americans their 5 freedoms. It gives us the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, the freedom of press, the freedom of assembly, and also the freedom of petition. So this is very important in the lives of all Americans. So now for Amendment number 2, will you read that one for me?
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Okay, so what does Amendment number 2 mean to you after reading it?
You have the right to protect yourself.
Good. That's exactly what it means. So Amendment number 3 says no soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner. So what Amendment number 3 says is that American citizens shouldn't have to hold any militia in their house unless it is stated by the law. And the reason the Amendment number 3 was created was because of the Quartering Act that had been previously put in place by the Parliament, which made American citizens hold British soldiers in their house. So the American government wanted to make sure that the only way Americans could hold soldiers in their house was unless it was said so by the law. Okay, can you read Amendment number 4 for me?
The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
Good. So what the Amendment number 4 says is that the government, police, FBI, anybody, they can't just come to your house and say, let me in, I'm going to search, and I'm going to take whatever I find. The only way they can come into your house and take your things and search through your stuff is if they have a warrant. But that warrant has to be for your house. It can't be for your neighbor's house and then try to say it's for your house. So they have to have a warrant, and it has to be specific as to what they're looking for and to where they're looking. So the Fifth Amendment. What does that one say?
No person shall be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
Good. So Amendment 5 is a very important amendment to a lot of citizens. What this amendment does is it allows citizens, if they're ever on trial, to plead the Fifth. And this is legally okay, and all it does is it lets them, if they're ever on trial, they don't have to say anything that might cause them to get in trouble or to say the wrong thing. They don't have to speak, and it's perfectly okay. So, Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. So this is important in all cases in a courtroom. It gives the accused a speedy and public trial with an impartial jury. So it can't be the person on trial's best friends. It has to be random people who don't know anything about the person or about what's going on. And this is how you get your defense and your prosecution, so that way there's not just one group pinned against one person. It has to be completely impartial, so that way it's fair. So read Amendment 7 for me.
In suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. Good.
Will you read Amendment 8 for me?
Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted.
Good. So Amendment 8 is also important because without that, there would be cruel and unusual punishment. So it's a good thing that we don't have cruel and unusual punishment. Amendment 9, please.
The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people.
Good. And then if you'll go ahead and read the very last amendment for me.
The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people.
Very good. Now, after going over all 10 of these amendments, which ones do you feel are more important to you than others?
I believe that the Second Amendment is more important than a lot of them, and also the 9th and 8th.
Good. Now, do you feel that the Bill of Rights are effective in today's society still, or do you think that our government should kind of update things and make some changes?
I believe that for the most part they're effective. There could be little changes.
Okay, very good. Now, if you will pull out your sheet that says I have rights, and it has 6 scenarios on it. We're going to go over a few of these, and what you're going to do is I'm going to read the scenario to you, and then you decide for me if that person has a right, and if they do, which amendment found in the Bill of Rights gives them that right. So for number 1, I dyed my hair green because I wanted to make a statement. I didn't think that statement would be search my backpack. A police officer stopped me and said that he was going to search my backpack because he didn't like my hair color. Do I have a right to privacy in this circumstance? What do you think?
Yes, the 4th Amendment gives her privacy.
Very good. Now in the second scenario. I was arrested 12 months ago. I've been accused of speeding, but I haven't been given an opportunity to defend myself against the charge. I think they're just going to leave me in this jail forever. Do I have a right to a speedy and fair trial?
Yes, the Sixth Amendment gives him the right to have a fair trial and a quick one.
Okay, very good. For scenario number 3, I do not like our mayor at all. I think he has made some very bad choices and is not managing our town very well. I'm going to practice my free speech by spray painting a message for the whole town on the mayor's front door. Do I have a right to free speech through vandalism?
No, he does not.
And why doesn't he have that right? In your opinion, why doesn't he have the right of free speech through vandalism?
He doesn't have the right because that would be breaking the law. It's you have free speech, but you have to do it in a respectful manner.
Very good. Okay, for scenario number 4. I know there's a law against keeping lions as pets in my house, but as long as I keep it on my property, I should be allowed to have one. That's what private property is all about, right? Do I have a right to do what I want on my property? Yes or no?
No, he does not.
Very good. For the 5th scenario, I am a Buddhist, which means I practice the religion of Buddhism. I just moved to a new town that has banned all religion. The sheriff has threatened to arrest me if I don't take an oath against religion. Do I have a right to practice religion?
Yes, you do.
Okay, and what amendment gives us that right?
The First Amendment gives you the right to practice whatever religion you like.
Good job. And then for the very last scenario, we have, as a punishment for accidentally breaking my neighbor's windows, I have to replace all the windows that break in our town for the next year, while wearing a silly hat and an embarrassing outfit. Do I have a right to fight my punishment?
Yes, you do.
And why would you have that right?
Because the Eighth Amendment gives it to you.
Good job. So now that we've completed these six scenarios, it looks like you're understanding your amendments very well. So for your homework, if you will finish by filling out that table that says A World Without, and the other 2 worksheets that are attached that I sent through the email, finish those for me, and if you'll scan them and email them back to me, then I can have them graded for you. But if you have any questions here, like tomorrow, the next day, just anytime before the test, don't hesitate to email me and I'll answer any questions that you have. And if you need more help, then we can set up a time to Skype, so that way we can answer your questions more thoroughly. Does that sound good?
Alright, thank you.
Okay, I hope you have a great day.
You too.
Bye.